I won't waste my time to try to convince these radicals in Canada, but they're a tiny, tiny, tiny minority. Our goal is to speak to the population in general, and the population in general understand that, we're not like that, our party is not like that, and myself, I'm not like that. Like I said, 49% of the population are in line with our policy on immigration.
I'm Jessica Swietoniowski for Rebel News, and I'm here in Hamilton, Ontario with PPC leader Maxime Bernier. So first of all, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us. So later today you have an event. The primary thing about the event is free speech. Yeah. Censorship. Yeah. Ironically, this event has been they've been trying to shut down the event. So is this the first time this has happened, or has any PPC events been either venues canceling events or forums not letting candidates speak? Has this happened before?
I think it's the first time that it's happening like that. Well-organized protest. But the most important is we are in a democracy in this country. Canadians have the right to protest peacefully, and I have the right to express my point of view also.
And so, in your opinion, what is the state of free speech here in Canada?
I think there's a double standard for people from the left and people from the right. People from the left can do anything and say anything, and that will be okay. Look at what happened with Justin Trudeau. Us from the right, if I can express myself like that, I don't like that being a right-wing politician. I like to say that, if you want to have fewer regulations and fewer taxes, and also if you want to have more freedom in your life, that's our party. We believe in less government intervention in our day-to-day life and more freedom. But that being said, us from the right, we don't have the same freedom. I'm speaking about immigration, a new level of immigrants, and people are saying, Bernier is a racist. We had that debate. They had that debate in other countries, and it went very well. So that's why I'm saying, that's a double standard. But my goal is not to. I won't answer any of these questions about racism because it's not. I don't have to justify myself. People just have to look at what I did in the past as a politician, and the last 13 years, and I want to be sure that Canadians can understand our platform and have a discussion about that. But if I'm a racist, 49% of the population in Canada must be racist because 49% of the population agree with us that we must have fewer immigrants. Only 6% of them want more immigrants.
So if elected, what is something that you would do at a federal level to ensure free speech and specifically freedom of the press?
Yeah, freedom of the press. We will cancel the fund that Justin Trudeau bring forward for the media. I think it's $600 million, if my memory is good. We will just abolish that and use the money to balance the budget. And because we want the media to be independent from the government, not be dependent from the government. So they have to be independent. So for the media, that will be the first thing that we will do. And second, also free speech, it's important. Free speech on campuses, it's important also. So as you know, some universities are receiving some funding from the federal government, but they will have to guarantee that they will allow free speech on campuses. So that's important. And also we won't do like the Liberal government was looking, and also the Conservative, to bring back Section 13 of the Human Rights Act. We won't do that. We have a definition of hate speech in the criminal code, and that will be it. We don't need another definition of hate speech. So I think that's very important for us. And also, as a leader of a party, I can tell you that our members of parliament will be free to bring bills on any subject, and private member bill. And when we'll have that, we'll have more more discussion in Parliament, and that's a place to have debates. But also, the party line. We won't use the whip to whip our MPs on the party line. For us, it's our platform. Our candidates must be in line with our platform, based on 4 principles, as you know: individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness, and helping us to bring forward our reforms. And if they want to table a bill on another subject, that is their right as a member of parliament, and it will be a free vote if they're doing that.
And so you have been labeled a far-right figure, even a neo-Nazi, but later today you're going to be sharing the stage with an openly gay Jewish speaker. So how is it, either you or just Canada, just society as a general, how do we turn those people around, those people that make such claims? Is it possible to turn them around to see and be more in touch with reality?
I won't waste my time to try to convince these radicals in Canada, but they're a tiny, tiny, tiny minority. Our goal is to speak to the population in general, and the population in general understand that, we're not like that, our party is not like that, and myself, I'm not like that. Like I said, 49% of the population are in line with our policy on immigration, fewer immigrants. We're not anti-immigration, we're not for mass immigration. We just want to have globally fewer immigrants, but also a bigger ratio of economic immigrants.
Mm-hmm. And so, in your opinion, do you believe that hate speech is a thing, is a real thing, and if it is, should it be banned?
No, it is not. It is not. Hate speech, it is not me tell you something that you don't like to hear, or promoting an idea. It's not that. These people try to have a new definition of hate speech, but we don't need a new definition, and I think that it is not something that we must add other regulation about it. So for us, that's not a challenge in this country, and we must have the right to express what we believe it. And when we're doing that, I don't have the obligation to tell you what you want to hear. That's sometime when people are speaking about hate speech, the definition is so huge that it can include anything. So that's why we don't want to do that debate. We don't need to have a new legislation on that. And we're in a free country, and freedom of speech is one of the fundamental freedom that we have in this country.
So in that case, if there was a real neo-Nazi that wanted to rent space in, for example, Mohawk College, where you'll be, do you think that they should be allowed to hold an event, rent the space, and speak publicly?
Absolutely. In Ontario right now, there's a group that want to register a party that will, their program will be to impose the Sharia law. I don't know if this party is approved right now by at the provincial level, but you had some people who believe in that in this country. As you know, we are a democracy with the rule of law, but they have the right to express their opinion, but also peacefully. That's the most important. Everybody can express their opinion, but they must respect others also.
In recent polls, they aren't looking too favorable for the PPC. So how many seats won would you consider a success for your party?
Between 1 and 338. But yes, you're right. But I'm not looking at the poll right now. I don't think they're accurate, and we don't do any polling. We don't spend money for that. But I was in Vancouver last week, and we did an event. We had 500 people over there. The day after, I was in Calgary. We have 550 people over there. The media did not cover that. But something is happening. Tonight we'll have about 600 people. So, and when you look at the poll, there's about 30% of Canadians that are still undecided. So I think we can do very well. And actually, I think we can have the balance of power also. It can be a minority government, a little bit like in BC right now at the provincial level. They have a minority NDP government, but 3 Greens control the government. So I can tell you that we may be able to elect more than 3 of our candidates. We'll see what will happen.
And so how has the media been treating your campaign and other candidates?
But they try to ignore us, they don't realize that we are a real political party, a real national political party. With 41,000 members, we'll have about 328 candidates approved by Election Canada before Monday. So it's going well. We have candidates all across the country. But now, because we will be at the national debates, I think they're looking a little bit more at us. But for us, it's so important to be at the national debates, because I believe that at least half of the population don't know that we exist. I saw a poll where 52% of Canadians were saying that they're ready to vote for a new party at the federal level. We're the only new party at the federal level. So we need to be out there. I did door-to-door with my candidate in Calgary, and I can tell you, half of the doors didn't know the party. They knew me a little bit more, but the name of the party and our party. So we need to be out there, and that debate will be very important for us. And I think everything will change from there.
And you did mention a little bit earlier, you touched about the double standard between the left and the right. So in the most recent Liberal scandal is the Trudeau black and brown face images and videos. I went out to Toronto, spoke to some people. Most people agree, yes, it's racist actions, but no one seems to be really swayed in their general opinion of him. Why do you think that more people don't really care, or kind of, brushing it off? Is it because it's Justin Trudeau and he's a Liberal, or is there something else?
Well, first of all, I tweeted about that, and I said, Justin Trudeau is not a racist. But like I said, he's the biggest hypocrite in this country. He and the Liberals were saying couple of weeks ago and month that we are attracting white supremacists, and we at the PPC, and that's not the case. Ordinary Canadians are coming to us because we're doing politics differently, and we're telling the truth. So yes, that may be a kind of a double standard, but the population understand also that he did that more than 19 years ago. But at the same time, they remember that he was saying he was putting himself above everything, and now he's not. So I think the population will judge him in the poll the 21st of October.
And so to mention Andrew Scheer, if, in your opinion, if he was elected, most people don't see Andrew Scheer as the toughest leader possible, especially for the Conservatives. How do you think that he would handle, if he was elected, how do you think he would handle negotiations with somebody like Donald Trump?
I think, it would be a little bit difficult for him, because what President Trump wants during these negotiations that we had a couple of weeks ago, and as you may know, the American didn't sign the free trade agreement, and we didn't do the same thing here in Canada. So it is still up in the air. But they were asking to abolish the supply management cartel, the cartel in milk, dairy, and eggs. And the Trudeau government and the Conservative Party of Canada were saying, no, we won't abolish that. We want these 10% of the farmers in Canada, we want them to keep their privilege and fixing the artificial prices that Canadians are paying, twice the price for milk, poultry, and eggs. I'm the only politician who say we must abolish that. That will be good for our negotiation with the American, but also for Canadian consumers. They will save, a Canadian family will save $400 a year after the abolition of that cartel. It is not fair. So the only way to start a real good negotiation with the American is to put that on the table, and after that asking for other things or a commitment from the US. But nobody is ready to do that except us. So Andrew Scheer will be like the Liberal on that. He won't put that on the table. He was elected as a leader of the Conservative Party of Canada by these people also. So I don't think he'll be able to have a good deal at the end.
Okay, and finally, I do want to ask one thing, since you are going to be speaking, joining the stage later with Dave Rubin, who is a Jewish man. Today is actually a Jewish holiday, it's Rosh Hashanah. I want to know, what is your stance on Israel? Would you consider yourself a Zionist?
I will consider, Israel. It's the biggest allies, and also the U.S. and other countries that are with us in NATO. That's important, and the policy that I have with Israel is to be able to move our embassy. I think that will be important, but also at the same time. Israel, and don't try to pander to the Jewish community. I'm speaking with them as Canadian, and our tax reform will be good for them, will be good for everybody. The only special that I can do, there's one of our allies, and I will work with them at the international scene, and I'll be sure that if they want our embassy to move, we'll move the embassy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, and good luck later today. Hopefully Antifa doesn't give you too much problems. Thank you.
Merci. Thank you very
Thanks so much.
Merci.
The election is just a few weeks away, so make sure you keep up with all our coverage, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video.